Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shades of Spirit. I am Psychic Medium Jaime.
Spiritwalker Nicole.
Are you sure?
I am.
Today we are sure who we are. I love it. Jody's watching already. Shout out to Jody. Love Jody. You guys, we are so excited. Every first Wednesday of the month is going to be the Fierce Four. So we are excited to just throw right in the mix our very own LaShawn, the Luminous Mystic, and psychic artist Ashley. Welcome, ladies. Woo! All right. So, I mean, with no, piddle has been my word. I feel like I've been channeling my grandmother all day. I talked to my mom and she's like, who the hell are you talking about? What are you saying? And I'm like, I don't know. She goes, that's what your great grandmother used to say is piddle. I'm like, Mom, we can piddle around. And she's like, oh, even my mom's calling me out on it. So I don't know. I think I got inner grandma energy coming through today. But we're not going to mess around here. We're just going to dive into this topic because this is probably, I don't know, LaShawn, your favorite topic when it comes to spirit, supernatural.
It is. It's my absolute favorite because it's such a fun and mysterious thing.
It really is. And, Ashley, we're gonna pop that cherry here with the supernatural going on. So you guys, we're gonna dive in on this first segment of what is paranormal activity. And as I was kind of working through this morning of just kind of fine tuning the show details and talking to my spirit team, they're like, it's tough to pinpoint that, wouldn't you say? Like that was exactly what they were saying in my head. And I'm like, I guess so. Because if you think about it, we are all in the presence of spirit. You're in the presence of spirit every day, right?
I am.
They're around you.
Everybody is.
All the time.
Yeah.
We all are.
Mhm.
And with that being said, some of us notice it and some of us don't. So I want to go around the room real quick. Spiritwalker Nicole, when was the first time you noticed spirit around you?
It was, well, with me, I just didn't put the puzzle pieces together. And it was when I learned for my own like senses and stuff of, spirits around. And that it wasn't like super easy. Like you don't look and there it is. But when you tune into your senses and you sort of start to feel like what it is for you. So for me, there's a very specific feeling. And it took me a while to understand that that's what that meant. So, and now there's just a few, like I know when it's like a spirit guide, I know when it's an actual spirit, I know, and it's, but once you tune into it, then it's unmistakable. And you're like, oh, and then it's fun because you're like, oh, that's cool. Like the spirit in the room. But I think for a lot of people, especially listening, that maybe they're kind of into this or they're kind of not, I think spirit is always trying to get their attention. And if they would pay attention to what that is, it kind of, I don't know, it opens up a whole new world for you when you start putting that together.
Absolutely. I've used absolutely once, Jacob. Note that. And I was talking to my son today, called myself out on transitions. I need some new ones, man. I said perfect about 400 times with him today. So
you got a drinking game.
Exactly. I don't know if I could get through the show that way, but Jacob, y'all in? Drinking game. It's after hours right now, right?
Okay. I didn't hear that.
No. All right, for LaShawn, when was the first time you knew spirit was around?
Oh my God. You know what? It's weird because I want to say when I was a teenager, when I actually saw something but wasn't sure what it was, that's when I thought I was a crazy type of person. And at that point, that's when I started sleeping with my eyes open and stuff, my mom was saying. So I don't know why. Why would you sleep with your eyes open so you could see them? I'm just saying.
Creepy right there. That's creepy. Spiritwalker Nicole's just shaking her head. She has no comment on that right there. Nope.
Of course she wouldn't. But to the point of knowing that it's actually spirit, I would say just a few years ago is when I realized and recognized that's exactly what it was. Only because I had gotten educated on it. And I had been around a lot of like-minded people.
That's the biggest part. Ashley, what about you? Because you haven't been really in the investigative mode, but you are
No.
aware of spirit.
Oh yeah. When I was a little girl, I think I was maybe like 4 or 5 when I had my first experience. It was the house that my parents lived in before they split up. And that house was really active. And there was a couple male presence. Uh, One in particular showed like they got like I woke up and it was like right in my face. And you know, when you're 4, the fear kicks in, and then you kind of just shut it off. You're like, no, I don't want to see that. Like some creepy man staring at me. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of pushed it down and set the intention as far as like, I don't want to see you, but I always know that they're there. So, yeah,
So you knew to set the intentions even back then?
I think it was more of just a like, I don't want to see you, to, you know, little 4-year-old me, like, no, no, you know. So I think that was just more of a. I mean, I didn't realize I was setting the intention, you know, when you're that young, but it's like, you know, obviously I knew that there were, you know, higher power source, different things like that, but I wasn't about to, you know, shut it down completely. I was just like, don't scare me because it startles you. And then that fear kicks in, and then, you know.
Yes, the
You
story of
go
my
out.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was about the age for me, except they didn't go away. And I was like,
Yeah.
you know, our team works with us on what we can handle. So that's a big thing about kids. And we get a lot of calls with families who have activity in their homes that want explanations, primarily to reassure the parents and to empower the kids. So for me, it was the same age, right around that 5-year mark, when it was like, oh, hello, there's this, you know, and then they're not invisible. He's right there. There's a friend. He's in my room, but he doesn't feel friendly. And so, you know, we are conscious of it or we're not. Some of us are open to it because that's what we're supposed to be doing in this life path, and some of us are not. But what happens when those of us are faced with it every day? We're faced with that abruptness of it, right? The noises of the cabinets opening and closing, and you go out and you're like, dude, there's no one in the kitchen. Or if you're by yourself and you're like, I'm the only one in here, and the dog can't open the top cabinet, right? Water running, that is a sign that spirit is, you know, kind of playing around. Also, it's the lights flickering on and off for no reason. Ashley, you get that a lot.
Yes, I sure do.
Or burning out light bulbs on the reg, right? Like they'll be just like, oh, I just changed this 2 weeks ago. Why is this burning out? Well, spirit's drawing from that energy, right? I also have had clients of, why is my house not selling? There's no reason. It's a perfect location. It's priced correctly. It's beautiful. We've done all the upgrades. Why isn't it moving? And they will call us out because it's kind of that last resort part of it. We do get that often. We do get the, like, I hear noises, or there's a bump in the night, or I feel like somebody's watching me. But with that being said, with the pandemic and the shutdown, we've spent a lot of time in our homes, right? A lot of us are working from home. And so we start to either feel the energies coming in because we're not usually in our home so much. And we're either dismissing it or we're acknowledging it. And we're like, dude, how do I take care of this energy? Or once we start in the real world and going back to work, if you have to go back to work and back into kids sports or whatever it is, or traveling, and you come back to the quiet house, you're going to realize it's not so quiet because you started to understand it and blend. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bye. Anyway, so with that being said, this is a fun and loving show, Spiritwalker Nicole. I'll put you on camera. So with that, you know, we have to start making those adjustments. And I know that I've already had people inquiring about activity in their home because now they're like, when I come home, it doesn't feel like I'm alone. And that can be, you know, unsettling for us, especially when we don't understand how to work with that energy. The other part is deciphering whether that energy is attracted to us or whether it's just a passerby energy. So believe it or not, just because you have your 4 walls, if you're not actually doing the maintenance of keeping it your space and your energy field and leaving your energetic whatevers at the door, then you are going to bring them in. They're going to cruise through. We had a family where there was energies coming in from the neighbors because they were just drawn towards that family's energy and I couldn't figure out what was going on, right? And that's That's sometimes not cool. Sometimes people are just like, as long as it doesn't bother me, that's fine. Let it be. But that's not always the case. It can also come in, Spiritwalker Nicole, in objects.
Yes. Yes, it can.
Hmm.
Mirrors.
Mirrors.
Yes.
Mhm. Talk.
Well, it's just basically like you just have to be careful what you bring into your home. So those of you that like to go antiquing or thrift stores or whatever it is, that's when you just have to just be careful about that and do the proper maintenance before you bring all that stuff, because everything holds energy. And those estate sales that you love because you get great bargains, be careful. You might be buying more than you bargained for.
Speaking of that, we had that investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So we were at an investigation, and it was extremely active in the home. And they were antiquers. Is that a word? Yeah, they love to go antiquing. They would pick stuff up off the side of the road and refurbish it, which is really cool. They also brought a brick home from Tombstone.
Oh yeah, yes, I remember the story.
Remember that one? And it just so happened that I was drawn to the daughter's bedroom. And this was an active home. This wasn't energy. This was a very active home. They would be like woken up at night. They could see things. They could hear things. They could hear people walking back and forth. They'd see the shadows, like very active. And I ended up going and sitting in the closet of the daughter. Now, there were no closet doors. I don't do that. Have you ever seen me on an investigation? I'm like, I'm going to go sit in the closet. I had my pencil and paper. I literally felt like I was in the Poltergeist movie because of the way that I changed. But I went by myself. So I sat down and started channeling this energy in there. That's not the wisest thing to do, but that's cool. I mean, I knew where my boundaries were. I knew I had my spirit team had my back. Nicole came in and sat on the bed and had her back to me, but started feeling into my energy and realizing that she needed to bring in her team, her angels, to be able to work in that space and to work with the energy in there. And I was automatic writing through it. I was sketching things. I don't draw. Like, it was a whole different transformation for me. I had a gigantic handprint on the side of my leg with thumb, everything, handprint bruise. So it isn't something to fear if you are empowered in that space. That's the thing. And we're going to talk more about that as time goes on, because, I wasn't possessed. I wasn't taken over. I was able to clear the energy. I stayed empowered in my space and was able to walk out of that home and not bring any of that with me, besides, the physical effect of maybe what I got myself into, but I knew what I was doing. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more on the paranormal. We're going to talk about how we can tell the difference between a spirit in our home and our own energy that's manifesting into ick. Honestly, ick that builds on our corners. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back after this break with the Fierce Four. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shades of Spirit. I'm Psychic Medium Jaime.
Spiritwalker Nicole, hello.
We are here with the luminous mystic, LaShawn the luminous mystic. I'm going to play it back and forth and back and forth. It doesn't matter. And we have psychic artist Ashley. The Fierce Four have decided that we want to tackle that subject of paranormal, right? And why not? This is a perfect time. It doesn't have to be Halloween when we do these shows. It can be now. And the reason being is that the activity, people have been living with it this entire pandemic. And a lot of us have just gotten used to it, or we've kind of worked on blending our energy in, or subconsciously just kind of creating those boundaries and not paying attention to it. But now that we're kind of getting slowly back into life and we're coming home, we're noticing that it's not so quiet in our own space. And they're calling and asking what to do. And that's why we're doing this show. Plus, it's LaShawn's favorite topic when it comes down to the supernatural spirit world of all of this. And so we will get into some of her equipment pretty soon. But first, it's really important to understand the difference between energy, which is us, our spouses, our children, the dogs, the mother-in-laws, the father-in-laws, whatever, and actual spirit energy kind of inhabiting your home, if you will. And sometimes you do need outside forces to come walk your property, or to come do a walkthrough of your home, your land, even your office, to really see if it's an outside source affecting it, or is it your own energy. Now, we had a client a while back, and they had a lot of activity in their home, and part of it was spirit. But by the time I got to her bedroom, I knew that things were flying through the room and that there was just stuff was being disheveled, and it didn't feel quite right. So I tuned in and realized that it's not a spirit in there throwing stuff. It's actually the energy of the person in the room. And understanding that poltergeist activity is not like the movie. It's activity that's created, one reason it's created from our own energy. You get preteens, this can happen often with. Think about the hormones, think about the mood swings, think about that excess energy, especially if they're not into sports or stuff like that. They carry that in that space, and that can be affected that way. But also, people need to be very careful in this, because you will call a paranormal investigation group out, or maybe you're hitting up those chat groups or whatever that are on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And, they're saying, okay, I think I have activity in my home. Maybe you throw up a picture, you get 16 people that respond, I do this. Oh, that's your grandmother. Oh, no, I see an orb. Oh, no, that's nothing. It's dust, right? And so you're trying to sort out who to maybe come out and see, right? Well, a lot of people get scammed, and I've seen this firsthand as well from clients, is that people will go out and say, oh my gosh, you've got this and this going on, and you've heard the sound, right? And they probably did hear a sound, but they're not specific, and then they take their money. And that's a shame. That sucks. That's ingenuine, not authentic. Again, you also have people who go out, and every time they're out, magically everybody has activity. No, that's not how that works either, because we can manifest energy in our own space, right? So if you think about, I use this a lot, Pigpen and Charlie Brown, all the dust, right, that comes up around him and is out there. That's what our own energy field can do. Now, LaShawn and Spiritwalker Nicole and myself are all Reiki masters. We're very in tune with energy. So we can walk through a space, and both on that psychic and mediumship ability and on the energetic ability, we're able to see or feel whether or not this is genuine spirit or if this is ourselves, right? And we've had that. We've walked through properties, and there hasn't been anything. And so then we have to tune into why. Why are they still having this? Why are they feeling this way? And kind of get to the root of that problem as well. And then help the homeowners regain control of their space and their energy, even if it isn't spirit, which is why we use all sorts of really cool equipment in order to do this as well, to show the homeowners. LaShawn and Nikki, since we've been the ones that have done investigations and we've done stuff together, Ashley's joining us for our first one coming up here. How did you tell the difference? Let's start with LaShawn. How did you tell the difference between it being the obvious spirit or being the energy of the home, or even maybe the land?
Okay, so if it is, let's say if it's spirit, if it's spirit, for me, it usually is way more dense than actually the energy of the homeowner or even the land. And with that being said, depending on how dense it is as well, I can tell whether it's male or female if I can't actually see them. If it is the homeowner or people that are surrounding them, usually it's almost like I'm being drawn to them, or their energy is actually coming towards me. So it's really weird to explain how it actually happens, because it's not something that you can actually see. It's more of what you feel, or just that inner knowing, which is the clairsentience come in at as well. For the land, oh my God, I don't even know how to begin to even explain that. I think for me with the land, it is more so of the clairsentience is more of the knowing for me. But for instance, like Native American land, it's almost instant that I can feel that energy. Period. Bottom line, point blank. And it's just different. All three of them are just completely different.
I love it. It's claircognizance, but you are feeling with the clairsentience. So you got this. I got this. Inner knowing.
I got them all.
It's
Smart.
she's like, I can hear, I can taste, I can see. I love it.
It's
Now,
true.
Walker Nicole, for you, it's different.
It's different, but she did a very good job of explaining it, as far as like, yeah, you can't always see it, but it is the feeling and it's the senses. and you just sort of rely on that. You know, a lot of times I'll just close my eyes, just to get all the external stuff out of the way, and just close my eyes and just really, as we say, lean into it and feel it. And then that's how I differentiate between what's what. And then that's when the other senses do start kicking in, you know, and then I pay attention to, am I smelling anything? Am I hearing anything? Just whatever sense kicks up is usually the one I need to kind of help remedy this situation.
Senses, senses, senses. We all are psychic, you guys. I'll say it again and again and again. We all have a sixth sense. Whether we choose to use it and embody it or not, that's our choice in this life path, which takes me to Ashley. So for you, you know when you have activity in your home, or you can, I'm assuming you walk into someone else's home, you can get the willies or the feelies, right? So how do you, even if you haven't been on an investigation, how do you know that you're around or in either the spirit energy or just the energy of a friend who's having a bad day?
So when I'm around, like, so spirit, I get, it's not, I don't know, when LaShawn says thick, it's not thick for me. It's kind of tingly and exciting, like almost electric. When it's a person's energy, I get a stomach ache, like I get like physical ailments, like I will feel nauseous. I'll immediately get a headache that turns into a full-blown migraine. So yeah, that's the difference between, you know, human energy and spiritual energy for me. So I can definitely, I know exactly what is what. So that's helpful, but definitely got a shield, especially, I know.
A bow. Yeah, that's it, folks. We cabal the energy, right? Yeah. Cabal the energy. So, but for you guys that are listening, for you guys that will be listening, that are tuning in, and you have these questions, this is 4 different perspectives, 4 different abilities, right? If Ashley walks into a home or a hotel we'll be staying at that's haunted coming up in June, stay tuned for that, you guys. I cannot wait. More on that. We will be having her draw, because that is her gift. And then we will be showing it to the hotel staff. And I'm going to work with the hotel on being able to talk to some of the staff and really work into the hotel's energy as well to see if this resembles any picture that anybody has seen of a ghost in the hotel. This is actually, this hotel has been, it's in downtown San Diego. Won't give the name away yet. It has been on numerous ghost hunting shows, if you will. Speaking of which, I hate that term. But it is definitely a famous haunted hotel down here in San Diego. And so we're going to these gifts to work when it comes down to that. But if you guys have ever wondered how other people feel energy or perceive it, or whether it's spirit or maybe it's just the family, ask questions, send us messages, right? You can go to shadesofspirit.com. You can send us a message. Our Facebook page, Shades of Spirit LLC, send us a message there, and we'll be happy to kind of tune energy. We don't charge for paranormal investigations, and when we can actually get back out into the field, we'll be doing them in person. It's a donation based, kind of just, you know, picking up and gas money and stuff like that. And people are very welcome to that. That's also how you know you're going to get a scammer or not. They have, oh, it'll be $500 and I'll clear everything from your house, or $1,500. I want you to think twice before you do that. Find somebody that is very genuine and authentic. Coming up after this break, it's going to be learning how to be empowered in your space so that you don't have to call us or other people, and you can take care of this energy yourself, or maybe with a small assist. You guys, I have a fabulous tea party coming up. LaShawn and I and Nicole Moreno, our celebrity chef, and Michelle Byler from Sweetwater Farms Petting Zoo have a mystical tea party with spirit coming up next Saturday, the 17th at 11 a.m. in Winchester, California. So if you're in the Riverside, LA, or San Diego area, if you want to fly out here from somewhere else, we'd always love to see you. But it's going to be a legit tea party, you guys. Tea, it's going to have finger sandwiches, just gourmet food from celebrity chef Nicole. And then we're going to be doing readings. You're going to get cool energy keychains from LaShawn at the end as kind of a parting gift, party favor, if you will. I only have 4 slots left. All of a sudden, we have, you know, pretty much meet capacity for what we want to do that's safe for everybody. So you can jump on board at Shades of Spirit LLC and let me know if you want to go, and then we'll pay, and then we'll take care of it, and it'll be a fantastic event. And then Ashley and Michelle and I are coming up with an event for May as well out at the farm. You guys, we're going to take a break. We will see you right after, 3.5 minutes. Thanks, guys. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Shades of Spirit. I'm Psychic Medium Jaime.
And Spiritwalker Nicole.
We've got LaShawn, the Luminous Mystic, and Psychic Artist Ashley, the Fierce Four, are here today bringing paranormal shop talk to you guys. With that being said, we actually had some activity on break, which gives me the chills right now. So I know we're so on to something. LaShawn's got her equipment set up behind her, and she turns around at the break to check it out. And she's like, oh, we have a visitor. And I thought, well, let me look at mine. As you can see, I'm going to point in here like you guys are watching me point. I have got equipment set up behind me, right? And my equipment was going off right after LaShawn said, oh, I have a visitor here. And that is stuff that happens to us all the time, right? And, it makes us like giggle. Like, I think we're like little kids in like elementary school passing notes. We're like, oh my God, look what's happening. Yeah. That is being empowered in our space. So now that we've kind of got an idea of what spirit energy, versus our own energy sometimes for me is definitely more dense and heavy. If I have a lower level energy coming in spirit wise, it is like the chills up the back of my spine. And that's ones that are trying to get my attention. If it's angelic energy, I get hot and I will get head to toe body chills. If it's spirit guide energy, they're usually not so like smooth. Like they'll just come in like, all right, what are we doing? What's going on? But when we have pockets of energy in homes, it's thicker. It's just different for me. Are we keeping you up? Are you good? Good morning.
Please be spirit.
Touche. Anywho, but no, like, so LaShawn's got energy in her space and I'm seeing it on my space, and my equipment has not gone off the entire time. And I had it set up before the show until she said that, meaning that there is a spirit that can be in two places at one time, or there's multiple spirits trying to come in to get messages through. We have set up equipment when we do Facebook Lives. It is awesome to watch how that transpires. I started this a few years ago. We'll put out equipment on the table, and as spirit's coming in and as we're giving messages, the equipment's going off at the same time. It's so awesome for those clients or for those people to be able to see it. I started doing it in readings until, well, I scared one lady and I was like, okay, we'll just turn that off. But no, I mean, for me, it's about finding out the facts. So first of all, we're going to go in and we're going to check, are you hearing water because you have a drip in your bathroom? Right? We're going to debunk, if you will, what's going on in the home, right? And so is it your ice machine and you're hearing weird noises in the kitchen? So we will go through and we will evaluate that. And as we're doing that as psychic mediums, not all investigators, well, excuse us over here, Ashley, are you all right? I'm just blaming it on you. Nope. It's spirit. Actually, that is weird. That wasn't me. Jacob, was that you?
No.
Oh, look, he's disappeared.
Oh, he's disappeared.
Oh, wait. No, that was not me.
And LaShawn, that wasn't you.
No.
We all heard that, right? Yeah. Huh. So they will disrupt things. They will, try and get our attention one way or another. And Ashley's like, I'm out of here. See you guys. No, but understanding, where it's coming from and then being able to show the owners. So for me, I have the K2 out. This is one of our go-tos, right? Here it is. You can get them at Home Depot, online at Amazon. You'll see them back in the old school days when those Ghost Adventures and those type of shows were on. They're using stuff like this. They're all much more technical nowadays, but let's be honest, we're not affording that. So we're still playing with the old school stuff. Yeah. But we have to be careful because if we get too close to objects, it can go off. Apparently it's just going off, so that's fine. But if you have a phone, right, and you see an investigator or somebody walking through with this and they're trying to video it or whatever, and all of a sudden it's going off and you're over here like, oh my gosh, what's in my home? And they're like, oh, you've got activity. Yeah, it's called a phone, people. A phone can trigger this. What people will use this for is to find electrical lines in walls. If I feel like somebody's talking about they've got a lot of activity in their home, I will try and find where their power boxes are on the outside. That will cause EMF. energy to come in, which can trigger symptoms like we're being haunted. What is going on?
That is not me.
Well, I know it's not you. Ashley, are you making this noise?
No, I'm not moving at all. Nothing is moving.
It's not LaShawn.
No.
Jacob, are you sure you're not over here trying to fool with the mediums?
I promise you it's not me.
He's over here laughing. All right, so we're going to keep going with it. But this was going off to the yellow, as you can see over here. So LaShawn, what kind of cool toy can you go grab over there that you were seeing activity on when you said that, when this was going off for me? Look, she's got to get it. She's got to get it, guys. She's going for it. She's going for it.
Oh crap, it just fell. But so this is an SLS camera. So with this is hold on, let me see if I disconnected it by accident. However, you guys seen it on all the shows where the stick figure comes up and you can see where it is, if it's on you, if it's around you. That is what this is. So I've had several visitors today so far as that's concerned, because I put it. Listen, I just sit around my house all day and let my gadgets just do what they do, you know. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But so I have that, and then I have this, which when you close it and put it down, it's kind of like your K2 meter, exactly what it is, but it's 360 degrees around. So usually with the K2, it's like if it's not in front of you, sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. This just really illuminates up. So I don't know how to get it to work with my phone like you just did, Jaime, but it works. But then of course the REM pod, which we all have the REM pod.
These are freaking
Ashley, that is.
I feel like Vanna, here you go. This is something that they started out using back in the day as well. You'll see these small REM pods. They have evolved them to ghost boxes or whatever you want to call it. But for this, it's just straight up lights, right? So sorry for the noise, guys. That's why I have headphones on. But you're going to see this kicking on, and it's got a temperature gauge. It's got how close you want them to actually get to the object in order for it to go off. Now, same concept. You get something close enough to it, it's going to go off. But when you have it sitting in the empty room, and actually we had done this this retreat on a weekend, and we were in a cabin. And so we had many different people in and out, and we were teaching them how to work with spirit and be empowered in it. And one person had dowsing rods. So if you guys know what these are old, and that's how they used to find water or quartz lines. Yep, check them out. I will actually teach mediumship classes on how to use these and find things through the power of intention and thought. But somebody had these and was talking to spirit, and sitting probably 4 or 5 feet away from this, as it was moving and tracking it, this was going off. And as these would go away from that, tracking the spirit, this would stop. And I actually have video of it doing that the entire evening. It's just another way for us to see spirit. Now, a big part of it is if there is spirit in the house or wherever you're at, like when we go to the hotel, we're going to talk to them.
Right. Well, I mean, anybody can do that, but I think, when we're called in, it's for a specific purpose and job. And usually it is to sort of clear the space, get the energy back where the homeowner, the property owner wants it, especially if there's problems, if people are feeling unsettled and uncomfortable, and that's why we come in. So we don't just go get rid of it, like banish the problem. We go in and try to connect. We connect and see what's going on, see why it is they're there, what they need, and how we can help.
And then we empower the owners by watching what we do. And that's a really big part of it, because they don't realize a lot of the time that 99% of the time it's either a spirit that's wandered into the space, or maybe they came home with you at the grocery store. Yes, things like this can happen. That's why we have spirit teams. It's why we preach on keeping boundaries up and shields up, which, Ashley knows from firsthand experience what happens when you go to the dentist and you don't have your boundaries up.
Yeah.
Like I kind of came home with her and then had all this activity, and she's texting us because she's not 100% in her space to be able to work with that energy. But you can talk to them. And so we have done that numerous times where we have the conversation with spirit. So the reason why I don't like the term ghost hunters is because I'm not a hunter. I don't hunt anything. I'm investigating. I'm looking to see what the cause is. I want to make sure that the owners are safe in that environment, both within themselves and within the spirit part of it. But when we have these conversations, we start to bring the energy up and acknowledge the spirit there. If you have family members that have passed of drug and alcohol overdoses, suicides, sudden deaths, accidents, and you're just feeling like they're just kind of hanging out, or a spirit that is just kind of hanging out, have the conversations, acknowledge that they're there, ask for protection. Archangel Michael's a great one.
I had it happen last night. There was just in here, the energy was a little off. I could sense something was going on. And when I tuned in, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really down with what's here. So that's the first person that was my go-to. Called Archangel Michael and said, hey, please clear out this space. And that took care of the problem.
Paranormal Shop Talk with me, psychic medium Jaime,
And Spiritwalker Nicole.
LaShawn the Luminous Mystic, and psychic artist Ashley. All right, so we had to go to break because everything stopped, literally. My K2 has been going off in the red. It's not near anything electronic over here. I've already debunked that part of it. All of a sudden I said to Nicole, oh, this is turning, it's red, and I'm picking it up. We lose Zoom. It kicks us out completely. It's never happened to me doing the show to where it was like, oh, well, we'll just wait. That's why we pay Jacob the big bucks, is to get us all back online. But that's how strong energy can be. And so when we're talking about it and acknowledging it and bringing it in and have the tools for it, we're able to feel and see. We had the scratching and weird noises before that we couldn't explain. And you guys are watching us. We're not over here like at our microphones going, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's what it sounded like too.
it did. It sounded like somebody was rubbing their microphone. So no, we definitely have energy and spirit here with us right now. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us through our little, I don't want to say mishap because it's awesome, because it's spirit. And LaShawn, your equipment's not working right.
Yeah, it's crazy because the Paralight was going off, but then my SLS just completely wiped out.
Her elemental P
Speech impediment.
just wiped itself
Her
out.
alphabet camera.
Her alphabet camera. So no, I mean, this is the thing, is that we don't freak out. We stay empowered, right? We get our equipment out. Those of you that don't have equipment, all you have to do is just sit quietly. Like Spiritwalker Nicole noticed an energy in last night, and she's like, you got to go. Like, I don't have the time or energy to be able to work with you right now. So she calls in Archangel Michael and asks him to be able to remove that energy out. When we do this, we stay in that space of a higher vibration. Mm-hmm. As long as you guys know nothing's going to happen, and I have been scratched. Like I said earlier, I have the bruises, but it's because I open myself up to what I'm getting into. And I know that I'm protected. And so if I have some surface stuff, it just validates even more what's going on. Right. But I've never brought anything home. I've never brought anything home from work. No. But some of you do. And so it's all about cleansing and clearing that space. Ashley brought somebody home from the dentist office. She just was not 100% in her own energy. Those of you that aren't feeling so good, you might feel like all of a sudden you're not alone and you're like, what the hell is going on? Well, it's because spirit will come in and either try and use our energy to fuel their own, not necessarily in a malicious way, but to be seen. But what's cool is that we can work with it when this comes down to wanting to connect with our loved ones, right? And learning how to coexist with them. So let's start with you, LaShawn. How do you stay empowered in your space? What do you tell people that come to you that have activity in their home in order for them not to give into the fear, because fear is a lower vibration that draws different energy to us, and to be able to coexist peacefully?
Okay, so what I tell people, is about the empowerment. I do let them know which angels to call on as well. And Archangel Michael is like the top gun as far as I'm concerned, so far as that's concerned. So yes, I do that as well. But I also tell them to walk around their home And with the mantra, say what it is that you want, be very specific about it. You can do this while you're saging, you can do this while your diffusers are on, whatever the case may be, and take your space back. Let it be known that this is my space. You're not welcome here. Or what I'll do is say, because we just don't want to send them out there. I'm like, you don't want them to go to somebody else, or whatever. But ask for their higher ups to come and guide them to raise their vibrations to be out of your space, so one
That's
of
a
the ways.
that's a big thing, is that we don't dismiss the energy. So like Spiritwalker Nicole said, we're here to work with that energy. We're here to see if it is energy of, a spirit or of the homeowner. But the thing for me is we're also not antagonistic.
Right.
No.
That, ugh.
Well, some like the ghost hunting shows, they'll what do you call it? Deliberately poke the bear in order to kind of get the desired response, which is good for ratings, which is good for cameras, but that's not what we're about.
No, we want to sit down and talk to spirit. There have been times that I've just brought spirit with me and I work on their energy on the way home, but I will not allow it into my space because I have my own family.
Right.
But it's all about hearing their story. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that it does bring a sense of fear within us, right? And yet, if we start to understand it and realize that they're just looking for someone to hear them, to see them again, right? What if they had passed in an accident on the side of the road and they're still kind of in that vibration, right? Again, you guys have heard me say it time and time again. I'm not a firm believer that we pass and go directly up to the pearly gates and let's see what the judgment is and then we'll go from there. That we will reside in a space that we've passed in, and sometimes it's quicker for those. So if somebody's passed in an accident, sometimes they will kind of be in that space for a small period of time and then their angels are right there with them and loved ones are coming in and, oh, there you are, okay, I'll go. And other times you'll have ones that just, they don't understand that process. And you'll hear stories of people that have been out there and have gone through that and felt that energy. And, why do you think people are drawn to like accident sites, right? Or certain like campgrounds where there was a massive murder, or small towns? God, what was that small town that's just, they were going to develop on it and they just couldn't. It's haunted because of this tragic thing that unfolded. But then they get there and they just poke the bear. They just antagonize spirit. And no one is actually over there saying, let me help you.
Right.
What is it that's going on? And that's what the four of us are about. And that's all about staying empowered in our space and teaching others to do the same. Because a spirit was a life lived. I don't care how person you were in human form, it is not my place to judge. And so you may be trying to poke the bear to us, which sometimes does happen.
Mhm.
But if we don't react, it's just like, teaching your 2-3-year-old. If you don't react and you don't get a reaction from, like, they don't get a reaction from you, they're going to go find something else to do.
Yeah.
And that's really where that's at. But sending love and light, I love that, LaShawn. I just, you got to move on. Let's send you love and light, right? Be able to send the person, the homeowners, gather them around that table and have that conversation, and to be able to be in that space. So for Ashley, we're going to a haunted hotel, one that's been in the news. You can Google haunted hotels and probably figure it out pretty quickly here in San Diego, you guys. For you, I know it's not fear, but I like the way you describe, like, we're going to do an investigation of a cemetery next Sunday. Sorry, you guys, I have to change the weekends. It's my thing going on here. But the Fierce Four is going out down to Old Town San Diego, and we're going to be doing an investigation at their cemetery. It's public property. We can go through and see what we get out there. What spirits can we kind of help and work with? So, Ashley, show everybody what your piece of equipment is that you have.
Look at.
And it's so cute. So cute.
Yeah. So Ashley's bringing a lantern to a party with Paranormal. Target.
Oh, expensive, y'all crap. That's not crap. All your stuff was
Dowsing rods.
$4.99.
But how are you feeling going into this now? We've got 3 minutes left here.
I'm
someone in a
excited.
different perspective.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I am definitely, the past couple weeks since we've known about this, I've been working on how to kind of bring down that wall so I'll be able to see them, because I put it up so long ago, it's been a really, really tough transition to bring it down, because I do want to be able to see and validate and feel that and have that experience with y'all. So yeah, I'm just I'm ready. Like I've, done all of my preparations and, as far as like shielding and protecting and stuff like that. So yeah.
I love it. And you don't know any of the names or anybody that's buried out there, right?
No. Well, yeah, I'll be sketching and we'll see if maybe we can like Google some people and see.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking. See if we can get some validation on that as well. So you guys join us on YouTube next Sunday. That is Shades of Spirit for the Fierce Four. We'll be later than 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is our norm, except we want to do it while it's dark outside. So we might pop on as we're walking around Old Town and feeling the vibe, and then we'll pop back on for the paranormal part. You guys, I have a special this month for the $75 1-hour reading. You can book that on shadesofspirit.com. And I also have the April Fool's special. It's no fool here. I am doing a 30-minute oracle card reading for only $50. You can book both of those on shadesofspirit.com. And quickly, ladies, tell everybody how they can find and get a hold of you.
My name is LaShawn. You can find me on Luminous Path with Love on Facebook, as well as Luminous Path with Love on Etsy.
Perfect. And Ashley?
And psychic artist Ashley T. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram is Art by Ashley T, and Facebook is Ashley Tower. You can book paint parties with me at artbyashleyti@gmail.com.
Got to book the paint parties, man. And, if you guys are ever having those moments to where you just wonder, is it me or is there something here? Mm-hmm. If you're not going to work with us, we understand. Maybe we're not in your area. But LaShawn and I have done a house clearing, if you will, or through Zoom. It's all about remote viewing. It's all about tuning into the energy around and helping kind of give you some peace of mind and some tools to be able to move forward in that. Give us a shout out. Facebook, Shades of Spirit LLC, throw it in the messenger. If you're having a problem and a house has been on the market for a long time, especially nowadays, and you kind of want us to tune into that energy and that land, we can do that as well. But it's all about empowering you guys, giving you guys the tools in order to be able to peacefully coexist with the paranormal, the spirit world. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I still have the chills from what happened with everything going hog wild. My K2 is still going off on the red. It's been a good night tonight. Join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. I Have Soul Radio. I'm going to be scrying 4 different ways to scry, you guys. I can't wait. See you tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a good evening. You've been listening to Shades of Spirit with me, Jaime.
And me, Spiritwalker Nicole.
Tune in next time on TransformationTalkRadio.com as we connect you with your crossed over loved ones, angels, and guides.
And for more information and to book your own private experience, go to shadesofspirit.com. That's shadesofspirit.com.